What's up, guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be starting a new choose your own adventure book. Not fighting fantasy this time. We're going to be playing a book called Adesfort, which was sent to us by a guy called Phillip Jackson. Really cool guy. He lives in Japan, I think. He's written a few books, and this is the first book in his Alcantria series, I think. So if you like your fighting fantasy stuff, you should go and check it out. I'll leave a link to his Twitter in the description to the video. And yeah, this is going to be your typical fantasy choose your own adventure, what you were used to. So should we just jump straight into it, or should we explain some of the rules first?
Should we read the background?
Let's read the background.
Or should we explain what we've done with the points?
Let's read the background, and then we'll quickly overview it when we start the actual gameplay, okay? Let's do it.
It's quite a long background, so do you want to break it up?
Yeah, so we're going to take it in turns to get through this background.
Yeah. Okay. The Shieldlands has been a kingdom in turmoil for many years, ruled for almost 2.5 decades by the powerful and just warrior Lord Ensilf. The once prosperous kingdom originally spread many leagues from the waters of the Great Lake Vindor in the south to the treacherously high-peaked Ostar Mountains in the north. To the west runs the wide and deep Holmsfar River, beyond which lay the lands of Caduz, and to the east the Winton Forest, dense woodland and the ancient home of the Wood Elves. 10 years ago, a great horde of loathsome goblins from the Ostar Mountains poured down into the northern Shieldlands, laying waste to every village and farmstead that stood in their way. Whilst Lord Ensilf was quick to gather his forces and hold the despicable creatures at bay, Caduz, a kingdom that had never been a friend of the Shieldlands, sought to take advantage of the stretched armies of Lord Ensilf, and invaded from the west in an attempt to expand their own territories. It was an attack that caught the Shieldlanders off guard, and they were pushed back and mercilessly slaughtered in huge numbers. With the Shieldlands' enemies closing in on the main southern castle of Ardenfist, the Wood Elves of Winton offered their support to Lord Ensilf out of fear that the combined forces of Caduz and the Hobgoblins of Ostar could be a threat to the balance of the realms, and in turn to the Elves. The proud Lord Ensilf rejected the offer from the Elves, and the city of Ardenfist soon fell.
Okay, my turn. Rumours abound across the lands that a darker force was at work in bringing together and controlling the Hobgoblins and Caduz. But the dark forces have yet to raise its head and make its power known. Many that were able to flee the Shieldlands regrouped on the island of Adesfort in Lake Vinder, or were scattered to other kingdoms. Lord Ensilf refused to leave the mainland and was taken prisoner and held in a dungeon of Caduz. A year later, a daring group of Shieldland warriors eventually rescued their lord, but it was in vain, as once a strong, confident leader was a broken man. Not long after his rescue, Lord Ensilf died from physical and mental torture that he endured. The island of Adesfort and the small town on it were eventually taken by the Hobgoblins, and the refugee island Shieldlanders were either killed or enslaved. A small number managed to escape and tried to swim to freedom in the south. With the help of foreign mercenaries, the Elves of Winton, who had decided to enter the conflict regardless of whether the Shieldlands wanted it or not, and under the command of a new leader, the younger cousin of Lord Ensilf, Lady Karina, an army 5,000 strong was eventually formed, and after a long and ferocious battle, they eventually retook the city of Ardenfist. It was a victory that would mark the turning point in the campaign, and now the Shieldlanders are gradually pushing back and slowly retaking small parts of their kingdom. It is a struggle, though that will be long and continue to claim many lives.
Okay, so far, Adesfort is the island in the middle, and Ardenfist is the city on the island.
Yeah, and we've taken back Ardenfist.
Yes. The island of Adesfort is currently occupied by as many as 500 hobgoblins. They are, though, for all intents and purposes, prisoners, though not imprisoned. To the south of Lake Vindor is the city of Cambert. Cambert's King Gilhert, after many months of deliberation, decided to show his support for the Shieldlands, and the kingdom's fleet of ships... the kingdom's fleet of ships have laid siege to the island by patrolling their navy around the immense lake.
Little shits.
To stop any of the hobgoblins from leaving and rejoining the mainland battle as reinforcements. Adesfort has no resources and supplies will no doubt be running low as Cambert's blockade continues. Okay. So the ships are surrounding.
Yeah.
And they can't get any resources.
The shits are surrounding the island.
The island has many caves around its short coastline. Some of these caves lead inwards with tunnels that come up to the surface inside the walls of the town. Lady Karina and King Gilhert have come to the decision that the only way to neutralise the hobgoblin threat from Adesfort is to burn the town and hopefully its occupants at the same time. They are certain there are no Shieldlanders living in the town anymore, and that any still on the island are probably in the underground dungeons that are connected to the cave tunnels.
Nice shit, please. Although the Kingdom of Cambert's navy patrols the island and prevents the hobgoblins from leaving, a different strategy is required to make secretive attack on the town to accomplish their ultimate goal. Lady Karina and King Gilhert also hope that the destruction of the town and its hobgoblin garrison will lift the morale of the Shieldlands army as they continue their campaign to push back the mainland enemy. The plan is simple. Send in 2 small boats with 5 people in each boat to the island by cover of night. Each group will carry materials for starting fires in the town. To get the town, the groups will enter a cave that also has a tunnel leading to the town. The tunnel also contains a network of rooms that are, in the past, were used as far as is known as storage room and guardhouses. Once in the town, they will start the fires, then leave via the tunnel they entered through and return to the mainland by the same boats on which they arrived. To accomplish this quest, Lady Karina and King Gilhert had decided to pay for the services of outside adventurers and mercenaries instead of their own soldiers. They have concluded that a multi-skilled group of heroes will be more successful and better suited to this endeavour than simple heavy-handed infantrymen. And so, you may find yourself now sitting in one of the boats having been recruited for this mission, and with only the full moon above to light your way and set off from the southern shore of Lake Vinder to the island and town of Adesfort. As Cadus has forces encamped on the northern shores of Lake Vinder, you have set sail near the small town of Hislip on the southern shore, about 20 miles from the island. Towed for almost all of the way by a Cambert Navy ship, hobgoblins would not be surprised to see the Cambert Navy ship sailing around and close to the island. I was thinking of a shit sailing across the ocean. Your boat and the other are now released from their tow lines, and your propellants from here on are the small boat's single set of oars. It is a sturdy wooden boat in which you sit that can hold up to 10 people. So with your group of 5, it is not cramped. You have been provided with a map of the island showing all of the cave's entrances and which ones have tunnels leading to the town. So we do have a picture of a map somewhere, don't we?
Yeah.
Basically terrorists, yeah.
Well, no, we're terrorizing on some hobgoblins.
Yeah.
This is the map, which is going to not show up on camera at all.
Yeah.
But it is a very cool hand-drawn map.
Yeah. Think of them as like Mordor level evil threats, John, and then they need to be extinguished from the land.
So a bunch of hobgoblins invaded, took over the island of Adesfort.
And we want it back.
We've kind of overrun them, but to the point where they're just held up on this island. So the only way we can clear them out is by sailing across, lighting fires, burning them out, taking it back. That's the plan?
Yeah. We don't know if there's like families of hobgoblins and children and stuff, but we're just going to assume it all.
Are they indigenous species? John, stop it. Maybe we should change our mind and just not play this book.
No. We're the good guys, they're evil. That's the story.
Yeah, they took out our home.
So, before we get into this, we're going to have a quick explain of what's different from this book compared to your typical fighting fantasy. So, normally you have, strength, stamina, and luck. So, I'm assuming a lot of that is different. So it's the same. So, fortune will be your luck. Your stamina is now life points.
Yeah.
Agility, I'm not sure how that will work, but it'll probably be like dice rolls, and your strength is just strength.
It's a combination of our strength and agility affected our combat scores, basically.
So I wonder if one or the other actually makes a difference in certain fights. So you also have skill points, which we've rolled all of our stats previous to this because it would take a little while to get going. So You also had skill points, which was done by dice roll, and you can get a maximum of 6 basically, and we got a 5. So that meant that way you see weapon, medicine, and knowledge, we could put 6 attribute points into them basically. So we put 2 into weapon, 2 into knowledge, and our remaining 1 into medicine. Now we don't really know what those do yet. We know that the weapon one is a bonus for attacking enemies, and I'm not sure about the others.
They're important, actually.
So while you quickly find that, we also did a dice roll for equipment tokens, and that allowed us to buy these things right at the beginning of the book. So we got a sword, which gives us a 2 weapon bonus plus. We bought 2 ropes, climbing tools, an oil lantern, and enough rations, 20 rations basically, which each regain 3 life points when we use them.
5 life points.
5 life points, and we can use them at any time, I think, in this one.
Yeah, or maybe when instructed. I don't know. So basically, weapons we've explained. So the 2 pluses adds 2 onto our attack score, which we've already done. You'll see that when we get to our battle page. Medicine adds 1 to the amount of life points restored when resting or eating due to your character's understanding of herb medicines. So is that eating our provisions as well?
Yeah, so every time we eat provision, instead of just having your basic 5, we put 6 because we have 1 medicine. If you have 2 medicine skill points, you'd then have 7. So that's the one we've had the lower skill points with, but I think we'll be fine.
Knowledge adds 2 to our fortune scores when making any fortune dice rolls due to your worldly knowledge giving you better judgment. Nice. So actually our fortune is 13.
No, I think actually we added we rolled a 9, I think, and we added the 2 to it already because it was already set.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
So that is bundled in with that, basically.
Yeah. Okay, nice one. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there are some things on the battle page, but we'll wait till we get into a fight to do that. So, do you want to start page 1?
Yeah, go on then.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Ready?
Yes. 1 second. In a traditional RPG, agility would be controlled. Oh, yeah, maybe it does because there are crossbows and stuff in this game. But
oh, yeah, that's another thing. Which we forgot to say. You can pick your character at the start.
Yeah, there's races as well. So you can either be a human, a dwarf, or an elf. And they all have different attributes. The human, which we have chosen to be, they have 2 plus knowledge because they've been like all over the world, like invaded and taken over places, and they've got a world knowledge. If you are a dwarf, you get plus strength points, but you're slower, you have less agility. And a wood elf has more agility, but less strength, I think.
I don't think we have added it to the fortune then.
No? Oh,
no, because that's just our being human has added 2 onto the fortune. So we rolled a 9 for the fortune score. We've added 2 because we're a human. So actually, with our knowledge, we get 13.
Do we add that on here, or just...
I would leave it and try and remember it.
Yeah. We will see what happens anyway. This is part 1. We can sort of change things if it doesn't work in part 2.
We're human. Ready?
Ready.
You're eating all the snacks. You sit in the boat, taking your turn at pulling the oars as you head towards the island of Adesfort. The dark rippling waters of the huge lake seem calm, lapping gently against the side of your vessel. The air is cool but comfortable, and everything seems quiet. It's hard to believe that in such a peaceful setting that it is a backdrop of bloodshed and war that has brought you here and set you on this quest. You hope that your mission will in some ways help to bring the conclusion to the carnage a little closer. Suddenly, the tranquility of your surroundings is broken as a cry goes up ahead of you from the other boat. The rest of the crew and you instantly look over to see what the commotion is. Surely you aren't under attack from the hobgoblins on the island already. You are alarmed to see that this isn't hobgoblins, but instead you see 10 gigantically long and thick tentacle-like limbs surge up from the water and swing menacingly above the other boat, wildly attacking your fellow adventurers. The body of the creature that the gangly, sucker-lined limbs belong to is still underwater and not visible, although it looks like some sort of enormous and grotesque hybrid of octopus and giant squid. The team of 5 in the other boat have their weapons drawn, but having been taken by surprise, they are at a disadvantage, and with the whipping limbs of the creature attacking from all angles and directions, the situation is chaotic as they try to defend themselves. Will you try and steer the boat away from where the creature is attacking?
Moral choice already.
And try to head for safety, or will you row towards the creature and attempt to aid the boat and its crew?
I mean, it's bloody Cthulhu, yeah, I know.
Okay.
cosmic horror already.
I mean, should we? Obviously, we risk dying here, but I think I would rather risk, and then we can start again.
Yeah, because basically we need all these people to accomplish this mission. Without them, it's just one boat. If we can somehow save the rest of them, then we might get a bonus for helping them, or we might get more people to help us in the end game.
We could even, it could even be as far as like getting into the fort and getting far, but then we don't actually succeed because there's not enough people.
Yeah, so I'd say we try and save them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Page 200.
Here we go. Here we go. 200. Mustering all of your strength, you row the boat toward where the huge tentacle creature is attacking the other half of your team in their boat. You hear screams and shouts coming from the other boat, and looking over, you see one of the huge tentacles rise into the air. It curls over the top, and then diving into the water, it wraps around the underside of the boat. With quick jerks, it pulls the boat over, and the men inside are hurled into the water, helpless to do anything else. Wearing thick leather armour and chainmail, it is difficult for the men to stay afloat. Tentacles thrash around them as they try to escape, but against all of their efforts, they are soon pulled under and disappear into the black waters. You are close enough to attack the creature as its long tentacles continue to whip around in the water. Will you fight the giant lake octosquid, or having seen the fate of the other boat, try to escape by rowing away from the beast?
Should we try and fight him, and then we can see how fights work?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's fight this squid, man. So we'll go into page 71.
We need to gauge this author as well and see how mean they are.
Yeah.
How ruthless.
Yeah. We're looking at you, Phil. This could be a Steve Jackson job here.
This could be a really good warning, like, do not test.
Well, I just said it threw the whole boat of people into the water, and they died, so...
So going towards them didn't actually save any of them anyway.
No.
Gonna just end up being... Oh, you decide that the only way to escape this dangerous creature is to join the fight and try to finish the creature off. It has already taken some hits and is wounded,
Nice.
but it's still immensely strong and dangerous. Okay, let's try this.
Okay, so let's figure this out then. So,
Giant lake octo squid.
let's get its stats right first then. So,
And enemies. Have we got any squids?
we do have a sea creature on this.
We have a sea creature?
That'll do.
Yeah!
Okay, so, enemies attack score. What is that?
So his attack score is 8 plus 1 die roll. So we've got to roll a dice roll.
Yeah, but we do that every round, don't we?
Oh, we do that every round. Okay. So his attack score is 8.
And his damage?
His damage is 4. And he has 12 life points.
Okay, so we'll explain this in just 1 second. So, enemy life.
You'd have to explain it to me as well.
Yeah. So, from what I remember, so essentially, instead of it just being like a roll and your strength score, in this book, it is an attack score and a damage score. Your attack score is basically a combination of your strength score, agility. They're in dice rolls, basically. So if you have a strength score 10 or above, you get 5 attack points. If your agility is in between like 9 and 10 or 6 and 7, etc., you get a certain amount of points. And our attack score basically is, we had 5 strength points, we had 4 agility points. I know this is quite hard to get your head around. And then we had our weapon skill, which is another 2. And then was it a dice roll on top of that, or was it just them 3? Basically, it's a combination of things from your attributes, and that gives you your attack score. And from our stats, we have an attack score of 15.
I'm just trying to work out how combat works.
Yeah. So our damage score, that is determined from our weapon that we're using and our weapon bonus, which is there on the left. So if you have a sword, you get, I think it's 2 points, is it?
Yeah.
So if you have a... Let me help, where is it? Where's the weapon page?
Yeah, it's 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then you get a plus... Okay, yeah. So we have a sword. So then that gives us 2 points. And because we have a strength of a certain amount, it's easier when you see it on paper than it is explaining it. But basically, you have a bonus for what your strength is, and you mix that with your sword's Yeah, your sword is worth 2 damage points, and whatever your strength is, you get a certain amount of bonus points, which makes ours 5, basically. It's the same for the enemy, but the enemies are all on the same page. So when you go onto a fight, it'll tell you their attack, their damage, and any weapons or anything.
But you've got to roll for their attack.
You have to do for ours as well, don't you?
No, ours is set at 15, I think.
Do we not have to roll the dice as well?
I don't think you do. No, I think it's set at 15.
Your next step is to roll 1/6 die.
Yeah, we've done that. And then that calculated our attack score. When engaging in combat, you'll be given your opponent's attack score minus the dice roll.
No, you add the dice roll to what you've got, I think. So the strength bonus, that...
No. I'm sure we've already added that.
Really?
Oh, because remember we were 11, weren't
Yeah,
we?
so that's strength, agility, weapon, and then you roll the dice. So that means it's 15 every time. So we don't need to actually roll the dice for an attack.
Oh, we need to minus our attack. We need to minus 5 off it then. 4. So our attack strength is 11, and then we roll a dice each time.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did that a little bit wrong, but that's fine.
We rolled the dice prematurely.
Yeah.
We need to
So
use it every round.
Every round we roll 1 and 1 for the enemy.
It's like a full-on RPG. I like this order. Yeah. It's quite complex to get your head around in the first place. But once you know what you're doing, it seems like it's quite variable. So it's pretty cool so far. You must have to roll for attack. Sounds better. Yeah.
What we did is we accidentally, so when it tells you to like sort your stats out at the start, we rolled for our combat then and added it onto our attack when actually we need to roll 1 dice for us, 1 dice for them.
Yeah. And then, like I said, some of the enemies have their own perks and weapons and things that they can do. So
I'm excited.
So first, I think how many dice do you roll in this? Because
It's just 1. So should we have 1?
1 for each. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll for the enemy with the black dice.
Yeah.
And for us, we will roll with these yellow fighting fantasy dice.
Yes.
So we'll probably take it in turns on who rolls what each time. So
we're going to roll them at the same time though?
yeah, might as well. So
Yeah.
we're rolling for... Is that it then? So we just need to roll... If our attack strength is more than our attack strength, we take 5 damage off them. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's it.
Let's do it then.
So I can't really do these things anymore, can I?
No.
Unless you
Oh well,
want-
we'll figure something out next time.
We could just have a roll.
Yeah, we'll figure that out for next time.
Right,
So,
ready? Go.
So 2-2. Even Steve.
easy.
Oh, yeah. So we are on 13, they are on 10. So
So we
we've taken
take
5
5.
damage from the octo squid.
7.
It should become more simple as we get into this. It's just the first time trying it.
Yeah, it's first time for us as well.
So is that 5 off, is it?
Yeah, so it's 7.
So at least when you do it this way, we should be able to get through fights a bit quicker as well.
Yeah.
So here we go again.
Ooh, still win.
12 for us and 10 for Squidman.
Giant octo squid.
Giant octo squid, he's down to 2.
It looks like it could be faster as well.
Yeah.
Because I like how you don't take
2
every
every
time.
Yeah.
It's
It's depending on your skills and stuff.
yeah.
So that's with a sword. If you actually have an axe, you get 3 damage, but we've chosen to go with a sword anyway. So octo squid is dead.
If you're victorious and defeat the creature, turn to 1, 3, 2. First fight
I know, we did
done!
it. I just hope we're doing it right because that seemed relatively easy. The battle with the giant lake octo squid draws every ounce of strength and resolve from your body. You took some blows and the creature tried again and again to upturn your boat as it did to the other, but between you and the rest of your crew you fought off the attack and what remains of the creature finally slips away under the water until it all around is calm again. You slump down in the boat and turn to check on the others to make sure that they are not too badly injured from the encounter. During the fight, the creature's tentacles were flying across the boat and all around, so you couldn't see how your fellow crew members were faring in battle. You are shocked to find as you look around that you are alone in the boat.
Oh no!
You look again to make sure that your eyes are not playing tricks on you in the darkness of the night. Unfortunately, you've come to the terrible realization that the others must have been pulled overboard by the giant octo squid in this fight. and the responsibility of completing the quest is now yours alone.
Oh, you're joking.
24. We'll do it.
Calamari for tea.
Oh yeah, we might as well just stay there and cook like
Calamari for all.
octo tentacles for the next 3 weeks.
You pick up the oars of the small boat and begin rowing towards the island. Although it seems that the gods are not looking favourably upon you and the odds are against you in completing your quest, now that you are alone, all that is left of the original 10-man team that started out on the journey, you know that the only road open to you is onwards. The moonlight and stars help you to navigate in the direction that the map shows you is a cave entrance with a tunnel leading into the town. It takes a while and it is no easy feat, but eventually you see ahead the craggy cliff face of the island of Adesfort. Pausing for a moment, you scan the rocks for the cave entrance, and soon you see an area that looks darker than the rest. This must surely be the cave entrance that is on your map. If you are a dwarf and you have a crossbow, turn to 99. If you don't have a crossbow or are a human or elf race, turn to 82. Imagine if we die for not being a dwarf.
No. What could this mean then? 82.
Crossbow. Oh, to help climb the thing, maybe.
What, like a rope?
Maybe.
As you row closer to the darker area of the rock face, you see that you were right. It is a cave entrance. It is about 5 meters wide and roughly 4 meters high. Wide enough to row the boat into. Will you row into the cave, turn to 104, or change course and look to see if there are any other entrances? It says it's on the map, doesn't it?
This is the cave that's marked up on our map for us to enter, so technically by fulfilling our quest, we're doing the right thing by going in here.
Should we go in?
Yeah.
Yeah, 104.
I don't think you get money in this, do you?
I didn't see any mention of currency. I mean, with nothing to buy from hobgoblins, are there?
Maybe. Thanks.
We're lonely and desperate.
You row the boat through the cave entrance and into the tunnel. The waterway looks to go on ahead for quite a distance. Further down you can see some light, maybe a lit torch in a fixture, which would imply that you are not alone here. Running alongside the waterway on your left is a path that has been carved into the rock wall. It's wide enough for a person to easily walk along, though it does look slippery from water splashing over the side and moss that has grown across parts of its surface. Water drips down from the roof of the tunnel, making a steady plink-plink rhythm. Stalactites hang precariously, the built-up minerals from the slowly dripping water, some looking as if they might easily break off and fall, which causes you to keep a careful lookout. Will you row down the tunnel and head deeper in towards the light, or get out of the boat and walk along the pathway?
Where are the stalactites? Over the water?
They're probably along the full cave.
I would feel like going across the pathway would be more stealthy.
I feel like it would be, but it is slippy. Remember.
Let's take the boat in.
We ain't gonna find another water monster so soon, but maybe a stalactite will fall.
Yeah, but it might be an agility roll, and at least we'll figure out.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's
Keep
go.
rowing?
Keep rowing.
152. Oh, I love it! It's so good already.
You know. You can continue in the boat to row along the cave tunnel. It is dark and damp inside. A single burning torch affixed to the wall about 50 meters in casts some light ahead. From where you are, you can see that the tunnel bends around and towards the right. Will you continue rowing along the tunnel? Stop rowing but stay in the boat to listen for any sounds that may be coming from around the bend, or stop and get out of the boat and take a closer look at the bend before continuing.
Should we get out of the bend? I have a horrible feeling something bad's going to
That's
happen.
what I was thinking. If we get out of the boat and look around the bend, do we see something? We're not in the open water
Yeah.
as a target. I say we do that. So turn to page 16. We don't know if we're going to need a map in this book yet.
I love that feeling of starting a new adventure book.
Yeah, me too. We don't know what's in store for us either.
You stop rowing, climb out of the boat, and holding the boat where it is, you crouch down to listen. There is nothing to hear except the plink-plink of water dripping from the roof of the tunnel into the water below. You also see nothing different from the rest of the tunnel that you've already ventured along. To get back into the boat and continue around the bend, turn to page 2. If you decide to walk from here, turn to 121.
It's still slippy.
It is still slippy, I'm assuming.
In the boat.
It's just because it keeps giving us options to get out of the boat.
I know.
Will the boat row off on its own if we start walking, or can we go back?
We didn't say we tied it up.
What are you thinking? Gut feeling? My gut feeling is actually, honestly, to get back in the boat. But I feel like there's going to be a sudden drop. Even though we can't hear any water.
Yeah, I feel like it's giving us the option to like get out of the boat multiple times, which we should probably get out of the boat, but I think we're better off staying in the boat and just seeing this course and seeing what happens, yeah.
Oh! 2.
As you take the boat around the bend, you can see that the cave tunnel continues for about another 20 metres. Along the wall are lit torches, the flickering flames lighting up the way ahead. Water continues to drip down from the cave ceiling and also runs down an earthy limestone rock side walls. Even though there is light, the atmosphere is dark and foreboding. The tunnel eventually comes to a dead end where it widens out into a square area big enough to turn your boat around. There are also some wooden mooring posts fixed to the ground, and the pathway by the water continues to the end. You can see that at the end of the tunnel is a solid looking wood door. You would have expected that it would have been worn by the moisture in the air from the lake's waters, but this door looks not in the slightest a bit weathered. It looks almost new. In the centre of the top half of the door is a small metal grille from which light is coming. It doesn't take long before you reach the end of the tunnel. You climb out of the boat, turn it around in the space to save time that you might need later, and then tie the boat securely to one of the mooring posts.
Nice.
You now stand on the stone pathway along the water. The door seems the only way forward. Taking a moment, you listen. You can hear the sound of talking coming from the other side, though you can't make out what is being said or how many voices there are. The sounds are gruff, harsh tones, and you guess it could well be hobgoblins. Will you try and open the door and surprise what or whoever may be on the other side, or creep up to the grill in the door and try and take a look inside? Take a look inside, I would say. It might even be survivors from the boat. We might jump in and chop them up.
They look gruff.
Yeah, they're mercenaries. I think this is the least we'd ever drink this far into it.
Wow, I'm getting thirsty with all these salty snacks.
This is what's happening now. From now on, no more booze, we're just eating popcorn snacks. As a forfeit.
Oh, what a forfeit. Hello, did you hear popcorn snacks?
More popcorn snack.
You creep up and peer through the metal grille in the door. In the room you can see hanging from the ceiling is a lit oil lantern. Under the lantern is a rickety wooden table. 3 ugly hobgoblins sit around the table arguing, though what they are complaining and arguing about you have no idea. The hobgoblins are dressed in rusty-looking chainmail armour and dirty old leather trousers. They are also eating what looks like dried bread and dipping it into bowls of some kind of disgusting-looking soup. Under the table you see 3 axes, obviously belonging to the hobgoblins. From your viewpoint you can see little else inside the room. Will you open the door and charge in, or stand to the side of the door and knock? Hobgoblins can't be that intelligent.
No. So, what are we going to go for then?
Shit, right. Oh, saying that, I was going to say if we knock, we could hide to the side and at least take one out stealthily. We also have the option of possibly talking to them if we do that. However, as their axes are under the table, we might be able to surprise attack a couple. What are you thinking? What's your gut instinct?
Saying that the axes are under the table, it is probably good to do a surprise attack, but like you said, we might be able to talk to them. Should we
see if we can possibly talk to them?
We might.
It'll rule out possible options later on, I guess. 125.
125.
Oh, this is so good.
It's actually been a while since we did the last book like this, hasn't it? It's been a while since we did Fighting Fantasy. You knock loudly on the door and then stand to the side. From inside you hear annoyed voices. The hobgoblins are definitely not happy to have been disturbed.
Oh, no.
You then hear what sounds to be a movement towards the door before it opens, and in the head of one of the hobgoblins appears. Upon seeing nobody outside the door, he angrily looks both ways and then finds you standing to the side.
Ugh.
The hobgoblin jumps back in surprise and tries to close the door on you, but he is too slow. You barge in, kicking the door with your booted foot, knocking the ugly creature back to see that the other two are now getting up from their seats at the table. There will be no negotiating or surrender with these hobgoblins.
Okay.
To them, you are their enemy. You must fight the 3 hobgoblins. Due to gaining their initiative over them, you are able to make a free strike against the first one that opened the door. Inflict damage on the first hobgoblin without having to make an attack score roll for the first round of combat. So there's 3 of them.
Here we go.
So if you want to take this and we'll get the stats done. So hobgoblin 1, we're going to fight them in order, I guess. Yep. So how many? Take 5 off the first hobgoblin.
Take 5 of his life points.
Yeah.
So his attacks, all the attack scores are 8.
Okay, we do that first then. 8, yeah.
Yeah. Life points.
Damage.
Damage is 4.
Oh.
Basically as it was.
Yes.
Life points are 12, so that's 7 for the first guy.
Goblin 1 has 7. So
Dun, dun, dun.
remember, yellow is for us and black is for... Oh, we can take it turns, don't matter.
Yeah.
So 4 for the enemy, that is 12.
13 for us.
13 for us. So goblin number 1 is down to 2 HP.
At least we're taking a nice, easy, round number.
Yeah, so far, until they get to like 40 life points. Okay. Attack again.
Yeah.
6 for us, so goblin 1 is done
He's
for.
dead.
So number 2 is on 12, is it?
He's on, 12. Dun, dun, dun. I keep wanting to press
Kill it
hero
with
roll.
fire. That's a win for us. So goblin number 2 is down to 7. Why is that not type? Okay. That's a win again.
Down to 2. This would be pretty tough if you had shit rolls to start with.
Oh yeah, we got pretty lucky to be fair. Our strength is 12. And again.
Yeah. Okay, so he's dead. We're down to the last one. Life points back to 12.
I feel like we're pretty OP so far.
So far. It's early days.
Okay, that's a win. 2 and a 4.
Yeah. Just a win.
Is it? No, we got 4. They got 2.
Alright.
We need to remember that. Yellow is us, black is bad. 13, 12.
Yeah, just.
I think these guys are probably supposed to be quite easy. I'm guessing when we get to more badass villains that they're going to have like attack of like
20 odd.
Yeah.
Yeah!
So, all 3 goblins are done for.
I need to make sure in this book I read
What happens?
what happens afterwards.
After your first round, turn to
Yeah.
56.
If you defeat the hobgoblins, turn to 46.
This you in it.
Yeah.
Oh, gives me a chance to drink some of this.
The 3 sorry-looking hobgoblins lie lifeless on the stone floor of the room. They put up little resistance in battle, and you feel confident that you'll make it to the town without too much trouble. So that tells me they are easy, and we're going to get a lot harder.
Yeah.
You put your weapon away and look around. The room is carved out of the rock of the island, and there is a dampness in the air, still in here from the water outside. In the centre of the room is an old wooden table, around which are the 3 chairs that the hobgoblins had been sitting on. In the middle of the north wall, to your left, is a door almost identical to the one through which you came, except that it doesn't have the metal grille. There are a few wooden boxes in the room holding food. You guess that guards come here on shifts and also eat their meals here whilst on duty. Although the food doesn't look very appetising to you, you take enough of what you could stomach for one meal's worth. Mark this on your game sheet. This hobgoblin meal will restore 3 life points when eaten.
And we get 5 off our rations, don't we?
Yeah, so we've technically got... Oh no.
Should we just stick it on 21 and then we'll just... The first one we use, we'll add 3 points.
Instead of 5.
Yeah.
Or should I write it down here?
Yeah, write it down.
Hobgoblin meal.
Yeah, we'll cross it out once we've used it.
And that only pluses 3 life points.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing else in here, though, that is really of any use to you on your quest. To try the door on the north wall, turn to 118, or if you decide to search the hobgoblin bodies, turn to 100. You would search them. You would rummage around in their little pockets.
They better not have cursed items on them, though. I'll tell you that.
Bird helmets.
Yeah, you decide to put it on without even having the option.
You would have put it on anyway.
Maybe. Much as the idea disgusts you, you decide to search the bodies of the 3 dead hobgoblins to see if they have anything in their possession that may be of use to you. The first 2 have nothing of worth, not even a single coin in their pockets. The third, though, has a set of 3 keys on a metal ring attached to his belt. You also notice that the number 115 is scratched into each key. If you decide to take the keys, add them to your possessions list. Nice. Should I put that on the list?
Yeah. Just put keys 115.
Okay, so you turn your attention now to the door in the north wall, as it's the only exit from the room apart from the door which you entered. Turn to 118.
Why, you could have missed something important then.
I know. I could have gone straight to 115. Keys.
Close. The door is not locked and opens inwards to reveal a rough stone corridor beyond. There is a burning torch affixed to the wall, and you can see that the corridor goes straight for about 5 meters before turning around a corner left to the west. The corridor is empty and you hear no sounds. Will you head down the corridor, or pick up a small rock from the floor and throw it to where the corridor turns west to see if it triggers any traps or sparks a response from any hidden hobgoblin guards that might be lurking around the corner? That's a smart idea.
Should we try that, the rocks?
Yeah, why not?
Just like,
well, as long as it doesn't draw attention when we could have maybe snuck past otherwise.
We can take on a hobgoblin if it doesn't.
A hobgoblin army.
Oh, true. We'll see. Let's do that anyway. I just don't know if we need to start making a map in this one or not. You pick up a small stone from the floor and toss it a few meters in front of you to where the corridor turns sharply to the left. The stone hits the wall ahead and then bounces to the floor. Nothing untoward happens, such as triggered traps, and you don't hear any noise from a possible guard or anyone that may have been alerted to the sound from around the corner. You decide to head along the corridor, turn to 52.
Oh, nice.
This is exactly what you would do in a D&D session. What, like, throw a rock? What is... if that's like your choice to make.
Throw a rock at your opponent, your friends.
Who gives you that choice, or the dungeon master, or can you just say that yourself?
You walk along the corridor heading north until after just a few meters it comes to a sharp turn to the left. If you want to turn the corner and continue, then go to 147. Or if you want to stop and listen to see if you can hear anything before venturing any further, turn to 164. It allows you to be very, very cautious.
Yeah, it does. We don't know if there's going to be any negative situations where we stay too long.
Yeah, what if it's not, this is all timed and it's like, if yeah.
I don't know. This is the first book in the series. If anyone was going to be the easiest one to get through, you'd imagine it's this.
I don't know.
Starts you off on like an absolute nightmare. Stuck in a cave.
We'd still play it. We'd still continue the series.
You hear nothing from around the corner that leads you to think that there could be anyone there, or that there is imminent danger, and decide to take your chances and cautiously continue to 147. 147. You just say what you want to do, and the DM tells you what happens.
Nice.
Can the DM then tell you, like, no, you can't do that, or does he just have to adapt?
He'll have to adapt the story.
Do you have to say there's a rock? Do you have to have a rock in your inventory already? Or can you say, oh, I pull a rock out of my asshole and throw it?
As you turn the corner to the left with some sense of trepidation, you find that the corridor is empty and continues on. Affixed to the south wall are 2 lit torches about 3 meters apart. Along the north wall are 3 doors. All 3 doors look the same, made of solid looking wood with a small metal grille in the top half. very much like the door through which you entered into the first room where you found the 3 hobgoblins. You can see also that the corridor is about 20 meters long and looks to turn north at the end. If you decide to disregard all 3 doors and head to the end of the corridor where it turns north, go to 190. If you want to check the first door, turn to 89, the second door, turn to 35, or the third door, turn to 89.
I think maybe we should start a map now then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, we're in a corridor going north.
This has been the only sort of multi-decision page so far, I think.
And there's 3 doors on the... is they on our right? I'm picturing them on our right. Like this.
Yeah. The DM has to give an answer to encourage everyone to try things. I mean, that sounds really cool. Do you play it a lot, John? Like with your friends and that?
I don't think I'd have the imagination to be the dungeon master. I think I'd get stumped real easy. I'd be like, oh...
I feel like I could, but then like you're the one who's the center of attention and you're the one who's got to think of everything, I guess.
Yeah, pressure. Pressure sounds real.
I think I can manage it.
Should we do it?
One day we'll have a game.
Yeah,
D&D.
definitely.
We've never tried it. So where are we going?
Well, we've got to pick a door. Should we try the first door? Should we cross them off as we go?
Yeah, first door.
Should we make a checkpoint?
Yes, first checkpoint. Big drink.
What? Page 147?
Yeah. I play solo these days, but have run games and played in-game. So how do you do it solo? How could we do it duo? On stream, maybe.
John, should we play should we play a game?
It would be cool to try it at least once. So, yeah. So we're going down the first door we come to. 89. Are you written 147?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Spend the time. Do it.
What was it, 89?
Yeah.
Was that the first door?
Yes.
You hear no sounds coming from any of the doors, but decide to check them anyway. You step up to the first door. It is made of wood with a small grille of iron bars in the middle of the top half of the door. Peering through the bars, you can see nothing but darkness inside, but there is a definite smell as if something has been burning in here. There is a handle on the door. If you wish to try it, to open the door, go to 189. If you decide to leave this one and go to the second door, turn to 35, or the third door, turn to 9. If you decide that maybe there is nothing in any of the rooms and don't want to waste any more time, turn to 190.
What do you think then?
Are we going to die? Are we going to get burnt? Or somebody tried to burn something. Do we want to know what that is?
We've got a checkpoint, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, should we try and open the door?
Yes.
Worst case scenario, we die, we drink again. So is this a modern game book series then? Yeah, I believe. Hey, Rivers. I believe it is. Let me just check. I'll see when it was actually written. Don't know if it will actually say. No, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's within the last sort of... within the last 5 years, I would say. It's by a guy called Phillip Jackson. He actually sent us this book, and yeah, it's so far, it's pretty cool.
It's ace so far.
There's a lot of different mechanics to it, but it's interesting. So where were we going then? 189. Have you written 89?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if I can deal with a game book written after 1995.
So far,
it's really good. We want to write one, don't we?
Yeah, we thought about it. We've been thinking recently. Like, we would love to do something like this. You turn the handle, but the door doesn't budge. It's locked. There is a small keyhole under. We've got a key, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, there is a small key hole under the handle. Did you find any keys since arriving on the island? If so, turn to the passage that has the same number as the scratch is scratched onto the keys. If not, turn to 144. So 115.
115.
Let's do it. We've got 3 of them.
Have we?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got 3 keys. I'm sure it's 3 keys. Fighting Fantasy actually said that it was the PlayStation 1 that killed them all.
What? Really?
What? Just how popular the PlayStation was and people stopped reading books. That's interesting.
You take out the set of 3 keys that you took from the Hobgoblin's guard. You try them all and find that one of them fits, and you hear the lock mechanism click and unlock. If you're trying the first of the 3 doors, turn to 150. If this is the third door of the 3, turn to 96.
So what about the second door then?
Well, I'm guessing only one of these leads to a good outcome.
Okay.
Or a bad outcome.
We'll see. So we're going to 150 because it's the first door.
not going to be the right one, is it?
Stepping inside, you kick something on the floor, which makes a clattering sound as it hits onto something else. You look down for a closer look and see that the floor of the room is littered with what appears to be scorched bones. That's not good. You also find burnt skulls across the floor are the blackened remains of human skeletons. You don't see anything else in the room. If you wish to leave, turn to 60. If you wish to search the room more, turn to 21.
Let's search it.
Yeah, we got a checkpoint. I mean, we're probably going to be trapped in the furnace.
This could be the first death.
Yeah, let's do it.
Together.
Search the room with all the burnt skulls. No Death Trap Dungeon on the PS1. That game was so bad, so Ian doesn't even like the game. I've never...
I didn't know there was a Death Trap Dungeon.
I feel like I have seen that game before, like the cover of it, and I never put two and two together thinking it was a fighting fantasy game. Scorched Bones could just be the oven, though.
I hope you're doing well, Steve.
Yeah, how are you doing, Steve? Been a while.
You crouch down to inspect the bones on the stone floor. All of them bear black scorch and burn marks. Many of them are cracked and broken. Looking around, you can see scorch marks on the stone walls. Thinking about the wooden door, you take a look and see that the side of the door on the inside of the room has a metal plate covering the wood apart from the grill. This metal plate, too, shows black scorch marks. Pushing aside some of the bones, you discover a small, shiny metal badge on the floor. The silver badge has on it the emblem of the Shieldlands. It would seem that these poor people were most probably Shieldlanders taken captive on the island, kept in this cell, and then with supplies on the island dwindling due to Cambert's blockade, they burnt the prisoners as they had nothing to feed them with. Or could it have been a simple hobgoblin evil pleasure?
Probably the latter.
You fear the latter being most plausible. The very thought of how these people's lives came to an end sickens you, and you decide that you need to get moving to continue with your quest. You leave the room and close the door.
Fair enough.
To check the second door, turn to 35. To try the third door, turn to 9. Or to go past the doors and continue along the corridor.
I'm worried about this door too.
I'm worried about door 2. And the choice on the last door was... Are you trying the last door?
I think we try door 3 first with a key, and then if we die in there, fair enough. But if we go into door 2 where you don't need the key and it's a trap, we'll have to do this whole thing again to get to door 3. So I say we try door 3.
I'm just going to put bones.
They could just be having wings.
Oh, wings!
They're all cooked chicken wings right now in this room.
So door number 2? No, door number 3. Page 9. Spicy chicken wings.
We're definitely getting something after this. You decide to investigate the third door. Like the others, the door has a small metal grill in the middle of the top half. Peering through the bars of the grill, you can see nothing inside. The burning torch in the corridor offers some light, but not enough to see if anything or anyone is inside. You do, though, hear what you think is a quiet moaning sound. Could it be that someone inside is hurt? Or having a great time? You listen again. More intently this time, and conclude.
You perv.
And conclude.
And conclude.
And conclude. It doesn't sound like a hobgoblin, it sounds more like a human. Do you want to try and open the door, 78? Or instead, if you haven't already done so, decide to bypass the room and try either the second door or the first door. Alternatively, if you decide that you've used up enough time already and want to get out of this and head on with your quest, go down the corridor and turn to 190. So try and open the door, 78.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to take you back to 115 at some point.
Do you think?
Yeah, because we need to use the key to get
We've
in.
already used it.
No, we have 3 keys.
You try the handle of the door, but it is locked. If you found a set of 3 keys earlier, turn to the passage numbered as the same as the number scratched into the keys. You can do a strength roll, but let's go to 115, yeah.
Yeah, we got the key. That's if you don't have the key, isn't it?
Get the key.
We got the secret.
115.
So basically, it's what we read earlier, but it gives us the option of using it on the third door. If you're trying the first of the 3 doors, turn to 150. If it's the third door, turn to 96.
Oh, why would it give us the option though? It's 150 again if we were at door number 2.
Because it takes you to that, because you've got the keys. The keys always take you to 115.
You find that one of the 3 keys fits perfectly into the keyhole, and with an audible click, the door unlocks. As you slowly open the door away from you and more of the torchlight from the corridor creeps into the room, you see what looks like a human-sized figure crouching in the far right corner, and it is moaning as if in pain. Will you call to the figure, or cautiously walk towards the corner where it is crouched?
Should we call to it?
What would you do in real life? Call to it? Yeah.
Probably. I don't want to sneak over to because
Yeah, we might get killed.
yeah, it might have like some infection or something.
Yeah.
Let's speak to it.
117.
177.
177. After that weird goat thing in the last book. I don't want to get too close to anything.
Oh yeah,
We got the D's, didn't we?
the what they call centaur or something. You call over to the man in the corner of the room. He slowly and nervously raises his head and looks at you. He looks to be an old man. His clothes are little more than rags. There is blood on his face and his body as if he's been beaten or maybe tortured, and he has a look of fear in his eyes. You call to him again and tell him that you are here to help. He tries to get to his feet but seems weak and his legs buckle under. You decide that there is no danger here and you guess that he is most probably one of the shieldlanders left on the island. You feel a sense of duty to help the frightened man, and as you and so you walk over to where he is and kneel down beside him to help. Turn to 29.
Oh no. We're gonna get infected.
You kiss the man and now you have contracted the disease. Are there any rocks around? No, we can't pull
Oh, you putting him out of his misery?
Yeah.
Oh, you get down on your knees.
Oh.
You get down on your knees next to the frightened man. He looks old and thin. His clothes are tattered and torn, and his skin is dirty and blood-stained. With a soft tone, you reassure him that you are here to help him. He stops whimpering and stares back at you. There is hope in his eyes at hearing your words.
You're going to start laughing at us manically and
You might, yeah.
become a sorcerer.
Though he seems too weak to offer a reply. You go on to tell him that he is free to leave the cell. He tries to speak but only utters mumbled words. You help him up to his feet and he staggers along with you. Out of the room as you take his arm to aid in his walking. You explain that you have a boat waiting and if he waits there, you will take him back to the mainland when you return after you've completed your mission. He nods and points down the corridor westwards. What?
I think we're here to euthanize him like a cat. Would you kill cats with a giant rock? Lost.
He nods and points down the corridor westwards towards where it further down turns north, and in a dry, croaky voice he strains, "Secret passage."
Is that a question or
Is he pointing to his
love?
asshole?
No, he's pointing to his love den.
Oh, his love den.
Yeah.
Is that his butthole? But I can say no more than that. You thank the battered old man and watch for a minute as he stumbles along the corridor the way you came. When he has turned the corner and is out of sight, you head westward along the corridor and set off to continue with your quest. So we got to go west and then north, and he says secret passage.
Right now, or that's what we can do.
Basically, he said if you keep going westwards and then go north, and then he said secret passage.
Maybe write that down. While you do that, I'm just gonna go and get something from downstairs.
Right.
It's nothing crazy. I just want to find something out.
It's nothing crazy.
Quite the shit.
Old man. I'm just gonna put secret passage. West and then north. I'm very intrigued.
Well, before we continue, this was sent to us. This just turned up at our delivery place. Riders of the Black Sun, and I have no idea who sent it to us. And I just want to say, if it's any of you guys, just please let me know in the comments or contact me somewhere, because we're very grateful for this.
Yes.
But we have no idea where it came from, honestly. But it sounds very cool. But yeah, let me know. Let's get back into Adesfort. So yeah, let me just say what it's called. It's The Rider of the Black Sun by Swen Hardy, if anyone has heard of that. So yeah, Thank you, whoever it was. Please let us know. Right.
I just
Back
want to
to it.
solve the mystery.
Yeah, it just turned up, and I was like, no one's mentioned anything about it.
Okay,
Is this a dungeon in Soho by any chance?
potentially.
Is this a dungeon in Soho? I have played it. Very good.
Nice.
Steve. Oh, awesome.
It's even. I'm pretty sure it's illustrated by the.
It's not from me. I found it a bit unwieldy. What was that? This book that we just mentioned?
Has everybody played
not
this
from
apart
me.
from us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even the illustrator has like signed it and drawn a little
Yeah,
illustration,
look.
which is fucking amazing.
Look at that. It's very cool. But I don't know who sent it.
It's like properly signed and everything by the author and the illustrator, I think.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Crazy. Yeah. We just want to know who sent that.
Yeah, but we will be playing it on the channel.
Yeah, at some point.
Back on Kickstarter. 8.
Awesome. Yeah. Mystery.
What were we doing?
Yeah, we got lost there. But I needed to get that out. I wanted to find the answers to that. 190.
190.
Trying not to make any sound, you make your way down the corridor. Lit torches on the wall guide your way. As you get closer, you stop and listen. So we've not actually checked the second door, have we?
No.
You get closer, you stop. I've not had a cough for weeks, and in the last couple of days, I've got one back just as we're about to film one of these. Lit torches on the wall guide your way. As you get closer, you stop and listen, but hear nothing ahead. The corner turns sharply north, but you are unable to see what waits beyond. With your weapon drawn, you decide to turn the corner and face whatever may be waiting. Around the corner, the tunnel continues. About 20 metres ahead, the way is blocked by a strong-looking iron portcullis. Torches burn on the wall on either side of the portcullis, and slumped in the chair before it, with its chin resting on the hilt of an axe, is a hobgoblin, snoring loudly. Your way ahead is clearly beyond the lowered portcullis and the hobgoblin. To charge the sleeping hobgoblin, turn to 119. To try and quietly creep up and look for a way past, turn to 54. To stealthily search for any traps whilst not disturbing the sleeping goblin, turn to 90. I mean, the trap one seems to be the safest option.
And then we
right?
may also find a secret passage.
Yeah, let's try that. Oh, is that a game book too? Yeah, it was sent to us, and I just have no idea who sent it, and mystery. I played it as a part of a game book club group on Facebook about a year ago. Generally, the author of the book joins in a monthly discussion.
Oh,
very cool. So if you're still in that group, you have to let them know that we've been sending it, but I really can't think of who did it.
Who done it?
It's a mystery, a murder mystery.
You decide that it may be wise to check if there is more than just this sleeping hobgoblin guarding the corridor. You look around the ceiling, nothing, and then the walls and floor. Make a fortune roll. If successful, go to 22. If you fail, go to 1.
Here we
3,
go.
4.
So first mechanic roll. So
Excuse me.
what do we do?
I think we roll 2 dice, and if we get under our fortune score, we are successful. If we get equal or above our fortune roll,
So whereas in Fighting Fantasy you can get, say, our fortune score, which is luck basically, you'd get 11 or under, you're lucky, but in this one it has to be under your skill score, so we need to get under an 11, so let's do it.
nice.
7, beautiful. But do you lose fortune?
Oh, I
find
don't think so.
Let's see.
If successful, go to 22. Should we read that up real quick?
It would probably tell us, wouldn't it? Let me have a look.
I'm just gonna check because it's one thing we haven't actually read.
Didn't say anything about losing them.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Nice.
You now realise that it was wise to be cautious as you find a barely visible razor-thin tripwire about ankle high running across the corridor. Now aware of the trap, you step over the wire. You are still, though, faced with the close portcullis and the sleeping hobgoblin guard. To take a closer look at the portcullis while trying not to wake the guard, turn to 108, or wake the hobgoblin and interrogate him for information on the island. Should we interrogate him?
Yeah.
If we go for the portcullis, he's probably going to wake up and catch us in.
Yeah, let's squat over him and shout at him.
I like you're going to suggest something more badass than that.
I didn't know what to say.
Stand over him and shout at him.
That's how I would interrogate someone.
Can't we just belt him over the head while he's asleep?
Yeah, but we need information.
We could tie him up.
You gotta get the goods. You give the hobgoblin guard a push, and in startled waking, he falls to the floor. The hobgoblin looks up to see who has disturbed him, probably fearing it to be one of his superiors about to chastise him for sleeping on the job. As he sees you, a grimace crosses his face, and he quickly grabs his axe. Why did we let him grab his axe? You wouldn't, would you?
No, you just like shout at him and
You'd shout at
he
him?
wouldn't dare pick it up.
The dog just growled.
Yeah, weapon just growled while sleeping. Like
That's how you do
sleeping
it.
hobgoblin.
You point your weapon towards him and shout, open this portal.
Did we even use an enemy picture for the hobgoblin last time?
Yeah,
Oh, did we?
yeah. I told you shout, open this portcullis or I will slay you and leave you a carcass for the rats.
Slap you silly.
He spits in your face in reply, and you realise that trying to interrogate or scare this despicable creature is not going to benefit you in your quest. He swings his axe in your direction, leaving you with no other option other than to fight the hobgoblin guard.
Do it. Hobgoblin guard.
His attack score is 7.
Okay, 1 second. Skill. Nope, that's not right.
His
one,
damage is fine.
Enemy. Where are they? Where are they? Enemy attack is what?
7. Life points is 12. And his damage score is 4, so that's fine. It's just life points 12. Dun dun dun. And if you defeat the hobgoblin guard, turn to 194.
So, have we got any other pictures? I think I've got a guard on here. Something. Is it a night goblin?
Beast? No, let's. Oh, look at him.
Oh, is he different from the one? Did you use goblin before? Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll do. He's a guard, I think.
He's a guard. He's a fucking guard.
So, anything else on this?
Nope. Let's attack him.
Okay. So, once again, to confirm, yellow for hero.
Black for baddie. Oh, fine.
That's a win.
Yep.
So, down to 7 again.
Keep wanting to do the enemy roll. It is quicker doing it.
It is a
this way,
lot
though.
faster, yeah.
Yep.
That's a win. We still got the blood.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I don't know if it works. It works.
Yeah, it does.
Does it still have the Resident Evil noise? By the way, is our sound effects or is the music even playing? We haven't even checked. Okay. And again?
Last one?
Yep. Well, hopefully.
Oh,
He's done.
is
No,
he? Yes, he is.
13 plus, yeah, it's 11.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's done.
So we get rid of him. We go back to the main.
Yep.
If you defeat the hobgoblin guard, turn to 194. New book.
Good stuff. To be fair, the way they're written, it is very like comparable as a fantasy story. It doesn't feel that much different. You know?
Yeah. Music is very quiet. Oh no.
We'll sort it out for next time. I'll pump it up a bit. Just tell me if this is too loud. What page was it?
194.
The hobgoblin guard collapses to the floor. His lifeless body oozes with green blood. You wonder how many more of the vile breed are left on the island, and how probably like fucking hundreds of them.
They said 500 approximately.
Oh, what we got? 495 to go.
4. 5.
You wonder how many more of the vile breed are left on the island, and how many more times you will see this scene
Thanks, John.
as you try to finish your quest. Blocking your way now, though, is the iron portcullis. Looking through, you see protruding from the wall on the other side is a wooden lever.
I see lever.
Now you must be to raise or lower the portcullis. Even with your weapon, it is too far through to reach. If you spoke with the captive Shieldlander in the cell earlier,
Yes.
turn to 68, otherwise turn to 139.
Secret passageway.
Yeah.
Secret passage.
It's good. Is the music better now then, John? We should have done a test, really, but we forgot.
You could have tested while I was snacking. You caught me by
You
surprise.
were
I
up
just
here
came-
snacking
I
while I
came-
was downstairs. You
I
should
came
have been
down
testing
and
it.
started eating. I didn't realise we were live. You remember the shield lander that you rescued from the cell earlier, muttering something about a secret passage. As he knew that this was the direction in which you were heading, you wonder if he meant that there is a secret passage here to get past the iron portcullis. You rub your hands across the rock wall, starting at the top and working your way down through the rough rock wall to the ground. Make a fortune roll.
Oh.
If you are successful, turn to page 8. If you fail, turn to
There we
page
go.
197.
So our fortune is... Oh, we forgot to do it on 11, didn't we, last time? No, it's 13.
No, we did it as 11. Oh yeah, it's 13.
13.
We can't lose then. That seems a bit cheap.
Should we keep it at 11?
Let's keep it at 11. It adds a little bit.
Audio all good now. Just let us know if we go to the battle page again. Let us know if the audio in there is too quiet.
I wonder if you are meant to drop one every time.
I don't know, but
Because that means you can never fail a fortune roll.
we'll find that out for next time.
Maybe we should ask Phillip.
Yeah, we will. So
Yes.
we're under anyway. So successful. 68 it
8.
was. Close to the ground, you continue to push on the wall, looking for any movement. Just as you're about to give up, a large piece of rock, totally indistinguishable from the rest of the wall, slides to the side to reveal a small passage. Well, oh right, how big is this rock that's fallen out?
Big. You know, big.
4 foot wide. The passage looks just big enough for you to crawl through. Taking a closer look, you can see a little way in before it looks to turn left after about a few meters. To try and crawl through the passage, turn to 154. Or if you're worried that it might be just another trap and want to think of another option to get past the portcullis, turn to 139. The guy told us it was a secret passage.
It's fine, so let's squiggle
let's
through
go
it.
through
As
and-
much as I would hate that in real life.
Yeah, we're going to end up like that guy in that movie.
Don't.
Get stuck in the cave. 154.
Wiggle with it, yeah.
What a sleepy doggy.
He's so sleepy. The secret tunnel is just big enough for you to crawl through. It is short and curls around in a horseshoe shape so that it comes out in the corridor on the other side of the portcullis. You get back to your feet and check your surroundings.
Go on.
The corridor continues north. Looking back, you see the slain hobgoblin guard on the other side of the portcullis. Northwards, more torches burn attached to the wall, lighting the way ahead. There looks to be no other exits from here. If you want to search around before heading north, just in case there are any other traps or secret passages to look for, turn to 81. Otherwise, if you want to press on north along the corridor, turn to page 40.
So we can...
Should we look around?
Yeah, we might find something.
Hopefully it's not a death.
Just thinking of this portcullis,
Just thinking about it.
it reminds me of something from like Silent Hill.
Is it?
Well, just like where it's dark and there's a chain.
Portcullis?
Not a portcullis, but a metal fence. And I was just getting vibes of that. And how cool would it be for us to write a Silent Hill type of choose your own adventure book?
Oh, we didn't. Yeah.
It'd be super cool. You decide to check for further secret passages or traps before heading north along the corridor. After a few minutes of checking, you're satisfied that there is nothing to find and decide you need to get on with your quest as quickly as possible. Turn to 40 to head north along the corridor. 40.
Oh! I'm excited. We not died yet.
No, we haven't. I don't know if you heard that, but Wesker just...
Was that a celebration scream, Wesker?
Just sleep big time.
As you walk along the corridor... Okay, maybe. He looks shocked at his own screaming.
Back to bed.
As you walk along the corridor, the flickering light from the burning torches affixed to the walls does an adequate job of illuminating the way ahead. The passageway looks to go on for about 30 meters or so before the torches eventually run out, and the tunnel then continues into ominous darkness. As you listen carefully, you think that you can hear flowing water. Surely you couldn't have doubled back somehow and returned to the lake waters. The very thought of being back where you started fills you with a sense of despondency. That can't possibly be the case, you try to tell yourself, and continue down the corridor towards the sound of the water. What if the portcullis? What if the old man told us just the way out so he could get home?
So we're trying to get further in, are we?
Yeah. Little bitch.
Wesker. Did you hear it? Did you guys hear the scream from Wesker?
What?
And they are back. Hello from London.
Hey,
Miso. This game but good. Yeah, we're having a good
it's
time.
It's really good.
If you watch the YouTube version, I will link a way to pick this up and Philip's social media as well. So
yes.
Check it out if you feel like it. There's 2 books in the series currently.
How's London treating you, Miso?
Yeah, you having a good time? The tunnel opens out into a huge cavern, and the way ahead is blocked by a river running west to east and off in either direction out of view into darkness. The river looks to be flowing quite rapidly towards the east. There is a short sandbank from where you stand on the edge of the water. A narrow and rickety wooden jetty leads into the water from the sandbank for about 3 meters, and tied to it is a small rowing boat. This is a different boat, it's not ours, is it?
Yeah.
Burning torches are affixed to the end of the jetty, and across the other side of the river looks to be the same as this side with another small jetty and boat. You can also see a tunnel on the north side across the river cut into the rock of the cavern wall. There are large stepping stones between the 2 jetties forming a path to cross, about 1 meter apart. The river is about 30 meters from one side to the other. That's a long way.
Yeah.
Crossing the river seems to be the only option, as the sandbank is only a few meters wide in both directions, and there are no paths between the cavern walls and the water. But how to cross is the decision that you now face. To walk to the end of the jetty and try and cross by the way of a large stepping stones, turn to 3, or climb into the rowing boat and cross that way, turn to 30.
Everything is screaming at me that the rowing boat has got holes in it.
Yeah, and I feel like the stepping stones is probably going to be an agility roll.
Yeah.
Should we try that?
Very vibrant, but yes.
Very expensive.
London is extremely expensive.
We're going to be heading there in less than 2 weeks to get a plane to go to the airport.
But hopefully not spend much money.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think we'll spend any.
Thank you, Miso.
We'll watch the YouTube version, enjoy the game. But thanks, Miso. So, are we going to try the stepping stones?
Let's try the stepping stones. 1 meter apart. I feel like I could do that easy.
1 meter apart. Oof. Oh, I don't know. It depends how big they are.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, that's what everyone on Takeshi's Castle says, and they all end up breaking the face.
Castle.
Oh, yeah. Stones for the win.
Stones for the win. Let's do it. You decide not to take the boat and instead put your right foot forward and onto the first of the large stones. Large
stones, okay.
It seems solid, not loose at all, though it does look slippery in places with wet moss growing on some parts between the cracks. You pull yourself up and standing now with both feet on the stone, you look across at the route ahead. It looks treacherous, but you decide to continue. No sooner have you put a foot down on the second stone that you feel yourself losing balance as you slip on a large clump of moss. You must make an agility roll to regain your balance and stay on the stepping stone. If you're successful with your agility roll, turn to 110. If you fail, go to 150.
Can we make it through one part of this book without having to do a cheeky drink and re-roll?
Yeah.
So our agility
is 9, so we've got to get 8 or lower. Come on, yes, we did it. Woo.
They don't have agility of 9 though. We do. We made it.
Yeah. Where was I? 110.
110. Miraculously, you just manage to regain your balance and stop yourself from falling into the water. With a sigh of relief, you stand up straight and decide what to do next. There are 15 stones in total to get across to the other side of the river. If you want to carry on using the stepping stones, turn to 65. Otherwise, go back to the jetty and cross with a rowboat.
We've already made it across.
We might fall on the way back. Let's do it. 65. It's going to be a test of strength, determination.
You decide to keep trying to cross by the way of the stepping stones, and with extra caution you continue to make your way from stone to stone until you are about halfway across. It is then that you hear a noise from the left of the stones.
Oh no.
Splashing in the river, more than just the sound of the river flowing against the rocks. That tells me that if we were in a rowing boat, though, we could have been completely engulfed by something in the river. You stop and look all around. You see that the water seems to be forming a whirlpool. The swirling currents begin to froth as the whirlpool expands, and then suddenly a serpent-like creature shoots up from the center of the whirlpool, high into the air, and then back down into the water. There is more splashing before the creature rears up once again. This time it doesn't go back under the water, and its neck and head loom menacingly above you. An intimidating forked tongue whips out from its mouth, and sharp fangs are visible. It is covered in golden glinting scales, giving the impression of shining armor.
Epic snake.
Yeah. This is like final boss snake.
I know. Fuck the 7 serpents. This is the real deal.
The creature eyes you for a second with a piercing stare and then darts down to attack. You must defend yourself and fight back. River serpent.
Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
I do think we've got a snake on there somewhere.
Yeah, we already used it though.
No, I'm sure there's an actual snake.
Oh, this snake?
Oh, that'll do.
Yeah, but he's a sea serpent.
Okay. Sea serpent.
That's more accurate.
Okay, so...
His attack is 9. His life... his life points are 14. And his damage score is 4. So that's fine. If you defeat him, 10 to 196.
Here we go.
Possibly final boss of the...
Of the stream,
of the
yeah.
part.
That's still a win, right?
Just.
So he's down to 9.
Yes.
We should probably try and calculate it as well, just so you guys know we're not just saying, yes, it's a win. So I'll roll again. Well, both rolls.
Yeah, wins.
So, yep. No, is that right?
Yes.
14
down to 4.
So one more. We are destroying. Oh, my dice look blue on the map, on the cam then.
Yay!
It's done.
We've been super lucky with dice rolls so far. If you defeat the river serpent, 10 to 196.
The body of the serpent plunges lifelessly back down to the dark waters of the river. You breathe a sigh of relief that not only did you survive the attack, but you also managed to keep your footing on the slippery stepping stone. You quickly make your way uneventfully across the rest of the stones to safely reach the north side of the river. You stand now after getting down from the short wooden jetty on a small sandy bank. The only way ahead from here is the tunnel heading north, just a few strides in front of you. Unlike the tunnels and corridors that you have traversed up to this point, there are no lit torches in this one, so beyond the tunnel entrance you can see nothing to give you an idea of what lies ahead. If you are a dwarf, turn to 106. To enter the tunnel, turn to 49. Or if you prefer to be a little bit more cautious and listen at the tunnel entrance to see if you can hear anything or anyone, turn to 14.
You want to leave it here or do you want to...
I would say leave it here.
Yeah?
My gut feeling here is just to be cautious. Just
yeah,
the
cautiousness has not failed us yet.
Yeah, so we are on page 196.
196?
Yeah. So, yeah, this has been part 1 of our playthrough of Adesfort, written by Phillip Jackson. So far, I'm having a great time actually reading this.
Yeah,
it's been super cool. So we've had a few battles. I hope you guys have got a gist of how the system works. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll probably have a little bit more time to get to grips with it before we make part 2. But yeah, let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as I've said, on the YouTube version, I will link down Philip's social media and his book as well, and also his music YouTube account where he made the music for this actually. I think. I'm not sure if it's a collaboration of him and someone else, but he has a channel where he makes sort of non-copyright RPG music to be used in things like these. So thank you all for watching, guys, and we will see you with part 2 of Adesfort very soon.